Hey, I am Michael Santos with michaelsantos.com and prisonprofessor.com. Today I'm going to have the opportunity to introduce you to a new friend of mine. His name is Edison Davis Frazier. Edison, how you doing today?
I'm going good.
Edison, where are you calling from? Where are we talking from? What part of the country are you in?
I'm from Philly, Southwest Philly, near the airport.
From Southwest Philly. And Edison, like me and like many of the people with whom we connect on the Earning Freedom Program, they served some time in prison, a long time in prison. Edison, tell us a little bit about your journey. First of all, how long have you been home?
I've been home like 15 months.
About 15 months. And we'd like to hear about today. First of all, how much time did you serve in prison?
I did 20 years. I went in
1995
and just came out last
year. You look like a young man, Edison.
Yeah.
How old were you when you went in there?
I was 24.
24 years old. And where did you serve your sentence? What part of the country?
I was in on Western Pennsylvania, then I went to Dallas, PA. I was in Western for like 6 years, then I did the rest of my time in Dallas, PA. Outside of Scratch.
What we like to do on this program, Edison, is we like to provide guidance and advice for people who are just going into the system. And I'd like to start off by helping our listeners understand a little bit about your own story. First of all, what do people call you out there in the Philadelphia region?
Big D.
They call you Big D. Okay, Big D. Tell us a little bit about growing up in Philadelphia. When did you grow up and when did you get locked up into the prison system?
Well, I grew up in Philadelphia. I was born in 1970. I grew up in Southwest Philly on Woodland Avenue. And basically, I got caught up on the street. Mom was doing work and my dad wasn't around. So, I took advantage. I looked up to drug dealers. I wanted to be a drug dealer. I went to the 12th grade and dropped out and was selling drugs. And
there's so many people that we meet in prison that have that same story, isn't there, Big D? Guys who look up to people in the neighborhood, they end up making a lot of bad decisions and they pay a heavy price, like you paid a heavy price and I paid a heavy price. Tell us a little bit about what it was like when you first got locked up.
Man, I went to jail. Everything was cool. Like, I went to jail. Everybody was, that first year, I ain't see nobody. I went in there and I lost my mom, my pop, all my good aunts, my friends. So, I had to fend for myself. When you go to jail, it's like, you think somebody owe you something like that. It ain't like that. It's different because really a lot of dudes in jail, they distort it because when you get out here in society, you got to pay for toilet paper and stuff like that. Everything in jail is free. So everybody don't know from the transition to jail because a lot of people went in jail while they was young and they never had the opportunity to pay bills until you get out here and deal with the real world. So I'm dealing with that now, but I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. Tell us what was your initial adjustment like inside of the prison system?
It was crazy. My first 10 years, I was just running around, getting high, doing stuff in the jail. It was crazy. Then I started focusing. Time started getting longer and longer. Like people was going home, and I started getting trades, and I started getting certificates, and I started learning who I was. Because on the street, I was somebody else. I wasn't nobody.
Yeah, it's something that's really good insight that you're providing right there. You said that you wasted your first 10 years of your time in prison. Help our listeners and people who are listening to this story, help them learn and understand what you would have liked to have done different. If you could have turned back the clock and had insight on how other people gone through the system, what would you like to talk to that young Big D at that time? What kind of message would you give to that young guy?
Well, back then, I was still caught up on the streets. Everybody, when you go to jail, you meet from all different types of the city, and you be, oh, yeah, he was a big drug dealer. He was this and that. He was this and that. My first 10 years was like, I was just still caught up like I was on the streets until I started seeing people going home. And because it took me a long time to even get a job. I was working in the kitchen, but I still was doing criminal activities in jail like I was on the streets. So I didn't really start getting to know who I was until people started dying and understanding that support that you had before you went to jail is no longer there. So I had to tighten up and find out who I was. And I found out who I was, and I started studying. It's hard to be somebody else. I can't be nobody else but me, but I learned to be myself and just don't be no follower. Yeah,
you said that you were working full-time in the kitchen, but you were still hustling and doing your thing in the prison system like a lot of people do. One of the things that we try and teach in the Earning Freedom course is that success really begins with having the right attitude.
The right attitude.
You got to say, do right. You can't do it halfway. It took you 10 years to get that message, but you're trying to give that message now to our young brothers who are still locked up right now, helping them figure out what the lessons that it took you 10 years to learn. If you could go back, they got to have the right attitude. I take it after 10 years, what changed for you? Who did you start? Did you change the people you were hanging around with?
That was another thing. I started changing because I played sports in jail. So, I was 6'5", I was a center. I was one of the top dudes in the jail. So it changed the circles. I went in their 30s, 31, 32, 33, and it started getting crazy. Whereas though it changed for me when what you want to do when you get out of jail? Even though you're in jail, I look at jail as an institution of learning of who you are and understand and figure out what you want to be in your life when you get out of jail. Because they stop the college degrees and stuff in jail, but you still can learn to be a plumber. You still go. They got the culinary school. They got a lot of stuff, and people don't get caught up in that because they think if I can work in the kitchen for $80 a month, I could work out here for $8 or $9 an hour. That's what I'm doing now. I work down at Penn's Landing sweeping up. I don't make that much, $300 a month. But I enjoy the pay. I respect working people now. And jail made me seem because in jail they ain't paying no bills. Everything come off. You gotta wait. You don't pay bills in jail. And it made me somebody an old head got to me man, you gotta start tightening up because even though you got 10 years left, and it was a talk to him because he was going home. He told me start reading. I always read self-help books. I didn't read no magazines, none of that. The Vibe and all. I read stuff to educate my mind while I was incarcerated.
You're giving some really good, valuable information, Big D. Two of those things that I take away from that is, number one, if we're going inside of that system, we got to be thinking about the people we associate ourselves with. If we associate ourselves with people that are thinking negatively, it's really easy for us to get caught up in thinking negatively and get caught up in the prison system, which is just, as you said, like living on the streets. But once you make that mental shift, you start thinking about things that you can do with your time in there, like you described. You can become an electrician, you can become a plumber, you can become culinary arts, but it's not only getting yourself in the role, it's also going all in, making that 100% commitment to saying, I'm going to be the best in the world at what I can do. And it's also recognizing that when I get out of here, I got to learn to interact with law-abiding people, working class people, people that are just trying to do the right thing so they're never separated from the people they love again, or separated from the people who love them. And I know you got to be bringing a lot of pride to the people who love you, Big D, because you're telling it like it is. You're taking a job, just sweeping up, picking up, doing the right thing. But every day you're coming home and you know that nobody's running from you and you're not running from anybody. That's got to feel like a higher level of liberty. You still with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So tell us, Big D, a little bit about what the adjustment has been like for you after getting out after 20 years in prison. What kind of challenges have you faced?
I faced when I came home. So, in PA, you got to go to even in the feds, if you don't got a home plan, it's like I was in the halfway house for 5 months. And now, a lot of times, I left, I wasn't the biggest guy, but I mean, my neighborhood, it's like, a couple people scared of me, not saying I was all this and that, but it's like, so my family don't know, they know that you sell drugs, but they don't know the stuff that you really did on the street. So by me getting out of jail, I got my home plan turned down 5 times. So I was feeling I felt homeless, like nobody ain't love me or something like that. And I'm like, why is it that? But I had to really sit down, they know the old D that was selling drugs, shooting, doing all this and that. So they ain't ready for that. They wasn't ready for that, so that made me feel I was like, oh, I got to get my own stuff. I was mad at them for a while, though. But I really, you know what I'm saying? I'm mad. I was mad at them for a while, and I just learned that responsibility. Everybody say they a man, but a man come with action and responsibility. It's been a little rough for me, though. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm under the mayor. They try to help me get a job. You know what I mean? They try to help me get a job down there at the city and all this stuff. But the adjustments is I was moving too quick. I want a car. I want this. You come out of jail. It's one step. It's patient. Who is me to come home after doing all these years and think I could jump in a brand new car? I got to earn that. I got to earn it. I don't got the right. I ain't the Big D no more where I could come home and make $20,000 a week Next thing you know, 80,000 a month. Maybe I'm doing it ain't like that. It ain't even worth selling no drug. I'm cool. I rather grind. I take my grind hustle that I used to do by selling drugs and hustle on the streets. Now, I've been out here 15 months. I got 1,700 in the bank. That ain't much, but it's been people out here 20 years don't got nothing in the bank. So I'm stacking my money and I'm trying to do the right thing. But the adjustment is good because where I come from, all them dudes got life sentences. So I appreciate being on the streets and, you know, just waking up and being able to go to the refrigerator for myself. So, you know, a lot of people don't get it till they get in jail. Because
not only are you working hard, Big D, and saving and living responsibly, but I know that you have an interest in working with kids as well. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
All right. They had a program up Dallas that I wasn't even part of. A dude came down. It was like a going home block, like for good inmates and all that stuff. So I was on it. It was like a recovery block. I'm certified. So a lot of times, you know, we're a pair assistant, stuff like that. So I was working with the youth. I was working with the youth that was killing people on the streets. So I just was trying to get them a little outlook, like, all right, you in jail now. So now if I'm working with the youth that was killing people on the street, I know I can work with the young boys on the street that ain't even think about picking up a gun, because it's all about the choices that you make. You make one choice, it's going to alter your whole life, and you're never coming home. You're going to be up there eating oodles and noodle soups and crackers for the rest of your life, and that's your meal. You trying to make, I ain't never been in jail. We make a meal out of ramen soups. I don't like that stuff. So a lot of times people just don't know, man, like, you just got to do the right thing, man. And to the young fellas that's listening, and even the females, there's a lot of females getting locked up. It ain't cool to be like that on the street, because I'm telling you, especially if you're going to feds, they're going to shuffle you all over the country. You're going to be crying.
You got that right. I went into the federal system when I was 20, just over because of bad decisions I made when I was 20 years old. I didn't get out till I was almost 50, and I served my time all over the United States, including right there in Philadelphia at the Federal Detention Center, or up there in McKean, Pennsylvania, or Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Yeah. I mean, I've been all over the country. Now I'm home in California, but I got to tell you something, Big D. A guy like you's got real value, because the reality is we need guys like you to go into our schools and speak with these kids who are vulnerable to get in trouble, because you're the type of guy they're going to listen to, right? You got the life experience. You got the street credibility. Tell us a little bit about, if you've been able to do that, have you been able to make those kinds of inroads where you're going into schools and being able to tell your story?
Now, I've been trying to tell my story. You know, I'm going to keep it real. I don't know how to be fake. In Philadelphia, they ain't trying to help you. I came out with, it's upstairs, though. I got the package on your thinking errors, the decisions that you make. We got packets that people created in jail, but I took it to people. They try to bite it, but I ain't going to let you bite it. I ain't going to let you bite because who is the kids that listen to them? They gonna listen to us more. Out of 10 kids, I hope to reach 2 or 3. But it's just that I went to the youth study center. They keep on spending me. They keep on. It's about money. It ain't about rehabilitation of youth. It's all about a paycheck. So they don't really care about nobody. But they the same person be mad when them young boys be running around shooting everything up on the street, and they was under y'all control and y'all ain't do nothing to help them. Now they done shot it down your block or something. Now you think it, because you don't really think until it hit home. But I've been trying to put my program. I even taught, like, I was riding my bike. I come home. I was working too. It was in the wintertime. Riding my bike. Kid, 13 years old. This is my whole neighborhood, Southwest. I ride my bike. The young boy threw a rock and hit me in my head. He had a good aim, so my mind went back to the old D. So now I say I'm going to get him. So I chased him down, and I ain't even get him, but make long story short, he comes by here every Saturday now. That decision, I could have did something crazy to him, but that's somebody's child. So now he come by here, and I give him advice, and we the best of friends. We done went to the movies and all this stuff. It's just that if you want to listen, there's a lot of, you got to be yourself. You can't be nobody else. Your spirit is natural. Your ego, that's the most thing that give us in jail, your ego. Like, it's like I be trying to explain to the kids out here. When we was out here, we had Benz's, Lexus. Like, y'all don't got that out here. The money ain't like that. So they don't got nothing to compare it to. They think because a dude got a Chevrolet or something like that, he got a car note. Back when we was getting money, we ain't had no car notes. We getting the cash. So I'm saying, like, it ain't like that no more. So I try to help the youth, but they block me. But I'm coming, though. They try to block me, but they don't want to hear this. I'm coming.
You know, I got to tell you, I'm in the same boat as you, Big D. I try to create these programs with hopes that I could take them inside the prisons, like to try and reach guys like you were at the very start of your sentence when you were serving 20 years. You know, if I could have reached you back then, you wouldn't have wasted those first 10 years. You could have been working on other things. I like to share the strategies that worked for me when I started in the prison system and what I was able to do, and the way. But the reality is, I want to tell Big D's story. I don't want to tell my story. I want to tell Big D's story, because I know there's a lot of young brothers in there that need to learn from guys like you. They need to hear from guys who grew up on the street and guys who were getting in trouble and making problems in prison. They need to hear what you've learned in those lessons so that they don't waste the first 10 years of their sentence.
Yeah.
It's the same you got to do, though, brother. I got to go in there and make a heavy sale when I'm trying to call wardens and tell them, hey, I want you to listen. I want you to show Big D's story in your prison, because if you show the story, you're going to help more people adjust in prison in a responsible way so that they are not getting involved in crime. You got to do the same thing. I want you to go to your principals of your local schools and do the same thing I'm doing and say, hey, look, I wish I would have got this message when I was 12, 13, 11 years old, and I would have listened to a big homie on the street. That's what you are to them, right? You're the authority. And I know that the young people listen to you.
Yeah, so I'm waiting on the clearance joint now to get that child abuse and FBI joint where I could be able to go to schools, because the lady that said, Miss Emma, she said she met you she did time with you like 12 years ago, and she said she's seen you twice since you've been home. She put me on. She goes into school, so I'm trying to go in school with her. You know, by me working, I'll be working like 12 hours, so I'm gonna force my way into the school. That's what I gotta start doing, because school grades start back up in a week or two. So.
Yeah, but who is this woman? This woman knows me, you said?
Her name is Emma. I don't
know, brother.
Correspondence or something.
Huh?
I think y'all met through correspondence or something. You did.
Okay, well, I've been for about 3 years, and this is really what I do. Like you, I got to work 12, 13 hours a day. I work 7 days a week because I feel really passionately about trying to get this message out. But I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard to build a business around it. It's hard to earn a living around it.
Yeah.
But it's important to do. And I think that particularly in your area, Philadelphia, the Northeast, they have a huge need for guys like you. You've got to figure out a way to get it into a package. See, I put all my stuff on a package like this. Can you see this, Big D?
Yeah, I got some stuff upstairs. I just didn't bring it down. I got some stuff.
So this is like I'm going to do this with you. I'm going to put you on a CD like this, right? Uh-huh. And I'm going to try and send it to the prisons so the people in the prisons can see it. I'll also put it on YouTube, and I'll put it on iTunes, and so more people can listen. And I want people to be able to figure out how to contact you if they say, hey, I want to hear that Big D. He's got a powerful story, and I want to share his story with the students that I'm working with. Maybe it's in juvenile hall. Maybe it's in the school for at-risk youth. How will they get in touch with you if some of the people listening to this, they want to hear who you are? How should they call you?
I give you my email and I give you my phone number. Just call me.
I'm going to put it right there. What's the email they should use?
Derrick Frazier.
How do I spell that?
DERRICK. Frazier.
FRAZIER?
Yeah, FRAZIER. 962 at yahoo.com.
And what's the phone number they should reach you at?
267-531-8801.
I tell you what I'm going to do, Big D. When I make this video, I'm going to include on there a link so that people can contact you in Philadelphia. And I want you to be able to use this whenever you reach out. If somebody wants to see how much value you can provide, I want you to be able to just send them to this link and they can find you, because you've got an enormous value that you can provide to society, particularly to those young kids, because they're only going to listen to a big, OG like you, 6'5", did 20 plus years in prison. They want to hear from you. And it's our job to try and give that kind of information, because you got a lot of valuable information. What are you doing? Hey, so tell me something. If you had a last word, I want to give you the last kind of word to talk to these guys. If you wanted to tell them something, what kind of message would you be
I'm
giving to
chilling.
these people? Huh? What kind of message would you want to give to those young people that are going into the jail system right now?
People that's going in the jail system right now, it's like your fate already been happened. So you just got to figure out how you're going to get out of it. Because you're going to go in the jail system miserable because you think they did you wrong. My whole thing about it, we always putting the blame on somebody else. What part did you have to play in it while they put you in jail? That's a lot of times when people going into the jail, you got to go in there and focus because you can go in there, you can turn left, you go right. You're going to follow the rules and regulations in jail. I don't care if you was a killer on the street, you was a motorcycle gang. In jail, they got rules and regulations. If you don't abide by them, you're going to the hole. So my whole thing about it is, though, if you go into the jail system, you just got to get yourself together and get who you is. And then hopefully you'll be able to get out of jail. And by the people that ain't even in jail, think about making a choice. So you better think about them collect calls that people ain't gonna be able to pay. You better think about eating oodles noodles for the rest of your life in jail that I ate for 20 years and I'm tired of doing it. You better think about your thinking areas. You better don't let your pride and your ego make a bad decision for you being in jail for the rest of your life. And that's that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to recap this. I'm going to put some links back so that people know how to get in touch with you. I want to encourage you, Big D, to stay on the righteous path, make your family proud, and continue pursuing happiness and fulfillment in your life so that you never get locked up in that system again.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. The opportunity for you reaching out to me like this.
Tell me about your probation officer. Have they been supportive of you?
Yeah, they don't be on my top because once you get a job, man, I'm out the way. I'll be around my girl most. I don't got no friends. Like I came home to jail. I'm allergic to people. I'm not saying that I'm better, but I'm saying like I'm on a different type of goal than people really on the street. So my probation officer, she been supportive. She let me be taking trips. I'll be going because my girl. You know what I'm saying, we flight attendants, so taking trips and all doing all that type of stuff. So it been cool though.
No, I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for you. Was your girlfriend the girl that I talked to earlier, or is that somebody else?
No, that was a daughter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good stuff, my man. I'm really happy that you're making out there. I hope that you're going to make her proud with this video. I'll be sending you a link as soon as I get it published up here today. And I'm going to use your story to try and inspire more guys to come out like Big D with their dignity intact and a full commitment to be successful in society.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, brother. God bless you, and I wish you continuing success.
All right. I'll stay in touch
Hey,
with
stay
you.
on the line for a second. Stay on the line for a second. I'm just going to stop the recording.